I know it's been a minute since we've been on Zoom, and I logged in and it said use AI companion to do something. I didn't read the rest of it. I'm like, wait, what is AI helping me with on Zoom now?
I know, right? Like I logged in earlier for work. I had a judge's conference call and it did that. It like was doing something that was like updating. And I always try to get on like a minute or two early, but like it was like I'm like frantic. It was fine. It was all fine.
It only wants to update. It updates when you have something to do. Right. Like that's the only time it updates. When you have plenty of time and whatever, it just logs you right in.
Which is weird because that's my work computer, which they push the updates like overnight and like on weekends and shit. So like I don't really control any of that. And you would think that that would have been like, I don't know. I don't usually experience that with my work computer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but whatever. I look like I'm like a chicken.
I was looking at your hair and it looks green in the light and it looks like you have a pumpkin head. Like, you know, like pumpkins, like the top of the pumpkins.
Yeah, it kind of is green right now, just as the last of the color. It was originally purple and it goes to blue and whatever. So there's a little bit of hair stuff that's still like greenish blue. Mm-hmm. And I guess you don't usually see this at acupuncture because hair's always up too. But
right.
But yeah, it's like there's like you can see how like
it looks very mermaid.
It's so long. I've been messaging with Lauren because I scheduled an appointment with her because I need to get in with her before I go up to out of town for that trial that I'm working. So and I was just concerned about the date because it was really close to when I was going to be leaving town. But then she's like, okay, and all the stuff. I'm like, I'm stripping out all of this. I have to look like a normal lawyer and stuff. So I'm very excited though. My hair is driving me crazy. It's way too much. It's too long, too thick. I just want to chop it all off. And I'm not going super short. Like I'm not going to go like pixie length, but I don't know what else. Like this is too long, but I don't know what I want to do. So if you have ideas, send them to me.
Nice.
But hi everyone. It's been a few weeks since our last episode. We apologize for that. Life got really lifey for both of us at the same time. Like it was it's like one of those situations that everything's like on fire all at once everywhere. All good generally, I think, but it was still like, it's still been crazy. And us, like we finally got a time to like talk on the phone the other night for like the first time. Like our schedules didn't even connect for us to like have a conversation about anything. And so we finally are doing this and we're getting you 2 episodes of Sister Wives. We're going to get you all caught up before the next episode when it looks like Mary might actually be leaving. I don't know. So we think next week might be like the timing of the People magazine statement that Mary and Cody put out about finally ending their marriage or whatever.
Yeah.
We think that coincides with this, with what we're watching. We did the math, like we looked it up and we, although the show was kind of weird because suddenly they're in July and before they were like in January and it was shortly after Christmas. So some of the scenes are like, okay, they filmed this over like 6 months and put it together.
Yeah. When they said July, I'm assuming it was this past July because I mean, at one point they were like a year and a half behind. I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right. And they were doing all this Christmas and stuff was all last Christmas. So, and then like it was like, okay, January, that January timeframe was about when the People magazine statement came out. So that coincides with when Mary is at the B&B with her best friend, Jen, and her husband, which are most definitely not a threesome. She is.
Mary hopes it would be though.
Right? Oh, my microphone is all screwed up. Hello, Life Mate's gonna be mad. I'm gonna sound like, why are you off mic during this whole first part? Go record it again. No,
it looks like it's hanging on with hopes and prayers. It's
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had it really low, but I don't know. I need to move it. It's in a really bad place, and I've just never moved it because I'm not strong enough. No, I don't know. Just never do. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Sister Wives. And I actually had someone reach out to me and say, hey, can't wait to hear what you guys think. Hope everything's okay. Like, so sweet.
We're
very
alive.
Sweet. Reagan, thank you. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And thank you for the funny that you sent me. about Cody. I posted it on the Frauded Media, my stories. It's a picture of Cody looking all angry. He's like, hair looks good, might go disown my adult children later. And it's fucking hilarious. And that was Reagan who sent that to me, who is the one who reached out and asked if we were okay and all this stuff. So thank you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your funny contributions. So
yay.
Please keep on keeping on. Where do we want to start?
Yeah, so we're going to start with season 18, episode 9. Battle lines are drawn. Previously, Cody takes Janelle out for her birthday to the hard to get into, but not really, Mariposa restaurant. The cameras are off, though, so we don't actually see what goes on during that dinner. And then we see Mary telling Cody, I'm not walking away because I still have hope. And Gabriel getting into an argument with Cody about Robin.
She still has hope.
Yes. Loyalty, hope. These are a couple words we hear a lot of throughout these past 2 episodes. And anyway, so we see Christine. She's at Garrison's house cooking a meal, and she's so excited to be in his kitchen. She wanted to create a space to allow them to talk about their frustrations. So her and some of the kids. Christine said that when she saw Janelle's kids at Christmas, they were really sad. And Savannah said she runs into Brianna at school, but they don't talk. They don't look at each other. They don't
Brianna being Robin's.
Yeah, that they don't acknowledge each other and they just ignore each other, which is sad.
It is sad for siblings, but that shows you the state of the family that Robin's trying so hard to keep together. Right?
Exactly.
Like this is the family you're trying to keep together, where your daughter is, and like, I don't know who's initiating that, obviously, but
yeah,
go on to hear all the tea being spilled. So,
well, Brianna said that her and Savannah were decent to each other, but they weren't super close because of the rules, and it broke her heart a little bit because they grew up together. And I'm like, how are COVID rules completely making 2 people not want to talk to each other unless their parents are involved and all the family drama?
Yeah, I mean,
tearing it apart.
Cody imposing these rules, right? He claims that he imposed these rules for safety, security, whatever, I get that. We all get that. But there's a lot more than just that was going on, and that led to a lot of the alienation of the different parts of the family. So, it wasn't just about, okay, these are the rules and you're refusing to follow them, and therefore I'm going to only hang out with my favorite family, although that was what happened in effect, right? And everybody else saw it, but everybody else saw it for what it was. It wasn't just about the COVID rules. It was him clearly also favoriting them.
Of course.
That is, speaks to the much larger family dynamic.
Yeah, and what really broke my heart too is when Savannah said that it doesn't even bother her anymore that Cody's not there for her because it's been so long that he's been absent that she doesn't even notice he's not around. How heartbreaking is that?
That's sad that she doesn't even care anymore because he's been absent for so long.
Right. It's just tragic all around. And then, yeah.
It is.
Well, we see...
it really is.
Yeah, we see Mary at the B&B with her friend Jen moving stuff around. I typed in my notes, super uncomfortable watching Mary for some reason. I have no idea why I typed that.
She's very happy, and she's like super crazy happy, but she also looks like, this is my alternate theory that it's a threesome. Either a threesome, like she's like that she and Jen secretly have this relationship, although she will never ever admit it. Neither of them would ever admit it. I feel like they have the secret relationship and that she's been getting laid. So that's why she's happy.
Yeah. And
that's why she's uncomfortable, like cringingly, uncomfortably happy. Like there's something uncomfortable about her happiness here.
So Jen's husband has been helping her around the house and stuff and doing man projects or whatever. Right. And I was thinking to myself, can you imagine what a shitty relationship you have to have with your husband if like your female friend's husband does more around the house and helping more than your husband ever did in the however many years you were married? Like that's pathetic. And what a nice guy Jen's husband is. Maybe they are banging. Who knows?
Yeah. They seem nice. Nice, normal people.
Yeah, exactly. Normal people.
Like, I'm not probably going to go hang out with like Jen. She just like, not like, you know, like, are you going to go have a beer and hang out with this person? But like, I'd go get coffee with her and hang out, but like, like once, but like, I mean, she's not like my friend. Like, not somebody I would be like, oh, hey, you know, this is my person, but they're not the polygamous crazies that Cody hangs out with. So they're relatively normal speaking.
Yeah, definitely. And then Mary goes on to say that she still has a spiritual marriage with Cody and it's still valid, even though they lived separate lives for many years. And this is something she said over and over again. We still have a spiritual marriage. Like, you literally divorced him, your legal divorce, so he could adopt Robin's kids. But you still want to hold on to hope that it'll all work out. I get her sacrifice in doing that. I still would never do that. I would never give my power up. It sounds terrible because there's kids involved, but they have a father. I heard in the past that Robin was the one who really pulled them away from the dad and that he wasn't that bad of a guy. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I've read too.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't dug into it to verify it, but what I've been able to sort of piece together is that the rumors out there are that, you know, she says that she never really says what he is, you know, abusive of some kind.
Right. She never said physically abusive.
Yeah. She never said that. Doesn't mean he didn't, but she has never come out and said that that's what happened. But she has alluded to being abuse of some kind, and she needed to keep them safe, I think is like the language that she's used.
Right.
And whatever it is that she's keeping them safe from by putting him in the situation that she's putting him in, which is arguably not safe. Yeah. That's a whole separate thing. It's a whole separate argument. But yeah, like Mary legally divorcing Cody so that Cody could adopt the kids, like in a perfect utopia where polygamy was a perfect kind of marriage system, which it's not, but if it was,
shocker,
you know, doing that kind of thing seems to be within the parameters of what you do for your family. It's like Janelle, who made a large portion of their family money because she was working so much, but she didn't keep the money. It went to the family. And it was the family deciding how it was going to be used. And by the family, she means Cody. And then she got left out. Right. So.
And she ended up in a trailer. In a van down by the river. No, yeah. Do you see that Chris Farley sketch?
Oh, all right.
Saturday Night Live. Such a good sketch.
Yeah. I'm going to live in a van down by the river.
Yep. Well, let's see. The women are all talking about how men can't have a favorite wife and they have to give them all adequate time and connection. And then Cody says that if a man has a favorite wife in polygamy, so shocker, he just admitted that men do, then it's because that man has a loyal wife. And the women all say that most men fail at this. So Cody admits
the recap. Cody admits he has a favorite wife.
And
Cody admits other men because Robin's loyal to him. Cody says the others aren't loyal. Ergo, Cody is an asshole.
Yep. Well, we see Gabe and Gwen moving in with Garrison, and who bought a house. And Christine said that they're all very different politically and just different with their beliefs in general. So she doesn't think it's necessarily a great idea that they're all going to live together, but we shall see. But guess what?
They're adults and they're figuring it out on their own. She's not telling him that they can or can't or should or shouldn't, like whatever.
Right. Yeah. And Garrison, remember, was smart and signing leases and stuff.
Yeah, so he wanted to draft up leases, the whole deal.
Right. And Christine said that moving away was a good idea to save the relationship. She knew she had to move away while it was still good. It's preserved. And she meant the relationship between Cody and Truly. I forgot to put that in there. Yeah. So, because she knew, and I remember her saying something like, I know it seems, counterintuitive or just like, like to take her away.
When had a good relationship with him up until that point, like where he was present, because she's, a little kid, and she knew that he wasn't going to any longer do that because he's an asshole and that's what he does and that's his pattern. So she thought that the separation was a good time because then she won't ever have to know he's your actual father, family unit father, but not being there for you. I totally made it worse. I explained it way worse than it's I just made it worse.
Get it while it's hot before he starts disappointing truly, like he did every other child.
She doesn't have to know like what she doesn't know, right? She doesn't need to learn what Savannah has learned is that Cody was never around. That's it. She doesn't want it to become a Savannah situation.
And of course, Cody thinks that Christine preserving the relationship is ridiculous because, of course, he thinks that.
Yeah, because he thinks that she's taking Truly away and all the kids away and talking bad about them. But Robin keeps the kids near him and doesn't talk bad. So therefore, she's the loyal wife.
Right. And Gabe says he hasn't talked to Cody and that he only cares about his minor children. Of course, he only cares about the minor children because he can control them still.
Yes.
And they look up to him and they worship him, right? Of course, kids.
They're still indoctrinated.
Yes. They worship their parents when the parents showed them love and respect. Of course, the kids are going to be all about them until they are able to realize that their parent is a douche. And
which they all eventually realize.
Yes. Janelle says that Cody has trouble relating to the older children, obviously, as we've seen. And I thought it was really cool that Garrison goes on to say, I bought a house, I got into school, I got the car I wanted that my dad didn't want me to get, all while his dad wasn't talking to him. So it's like an F you, dad. I don't need you. Look at all the things I've done without you.
Mm-hmm. God, it's so like, look at him. Look at him. I mean, he's got a shit together more than like I do at almost 50. And his dad was never around.
Remember when Cody was like telling him Janelle to kick out the boys but she's like, he's saving money for a house.
Right.
And he did it. And he saved money and everything was hunky dory. Yeah. And meanwhile, Cody can't pay off Coyote Pass and Janelle doesn't have a house and Mary's living in a big house and I don't know. It's just funny.
Carriage house. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. But then Cody goes on to say, I reached out to the boys before and after Christmas, but I'm blocked.
I call shenanigans, balderdash, bullshit on that.
I don't think the boys would have lied about that. They have no reason to lie about it,
No. And they have the receipts, honestly. They've got the receipts, right? Yep. They saved all of the text messages, which we still haven't seen, but they talk about it. Cody lies within a single episode. He contradicts himself. So there's no way what he's saying is true. No.
Yeah, definitely. Well, then we get the tea and the gossip because Gwendolyn decides to talk about what happened between Robin and Cody and all of them. She said that they were all doing a gift exchange like they have for the last 20 years. But of course there's COVID and Robin said she wanted to do it on Zoom and the kids said, no, we want to do it in person. It would be more personable that way.
It's the kids' thing. The kids were organizing it and figuring it out because they've done this for years and this is about the kids. Right. And then Robin sticks her big fat hairy head into this whole thing and says, let's do it on Zoom. And they're like, what?
Right.
Why it's not about you, Robin.
Yeah, Gwendolyn's like she made it all about herself and talked about past trauma. And of course, Robin wanted to manipulate the situation. And the kids are just like, let's do it in person. We'll figure it out. And nope.
Yeah, like the kid. And then I guess it went off the rails and stuff because of all that. Because then it was like it became about like the resentments they all had towards her about the favoritism and all this stuff. And she said some really mean things that she denies saying were mean. And I just said this. And they're like, but they're like her Robin's recollection or recapping of what she said. I know it wasn't this and when, and stuff. And what the kids are saying she said are totally different. Like she's minimizing it, right? She's like, oh no, it wasn't about me. I was trying to help this and I was trying to keep the family together and da 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 da. And they're like, no, they're arguing two different things. So the kids are like, it wasn't about that. You're trying to do this. And there was this favoritism and all this other stuff. And so again, they're arguing two completely separate things. Cody and Robin over here on Earth 2 arguing their own unique set of facts. And then the rest of us who live on Earth 1 are, go, no, this is what's really happening.
Right. And then Robin goes on to tell Gwen that they didn't respect her as a mom. And Bree and Aurora were saying that the siblings were talking about them behind their backs and that they were planning on having Christmas without them. And that hurt their feelings. And it's hard because I do feel bad for Brianna and Aurora because they are in a situation where they've got Cody as their dad and unfortunately Robin as their mom. And so
they are indoctrinated. They are indoctrinated. I mean, they believe they are fully brainwashed into the Robin and Cody cult, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robin goes on to tell the kids that they're not going to participate in Christmas with them. And Robin said that they felt like they got voted off of the Brown Island. And I'm like, you did this to the family. You did this to yourself.
There's a disconnect happening, right? She's like, they voted me off the island, like, because they didn't want to have Christmas with me. And it's like, I doubt that that's what happened. If we saw what the actual text messages were.
Right. They said Robin was the one who didn't want to participate in Christmas with them. So now she's turning it around as though it's the kids' fault. No, it's your fault. It's your fault, Robin.
It's all the expert gaslighting that
because the kids also were willing to work something out so they could see each other. They seemed very open to figuring out a solution, but then they were told, hey, no. So Gwen said that Robin told, and this is where it gets really fucked up. I mean, it's all fucked up, but Gwen said that Robin told McKelty and Logan to tell the kids she wasn't going to talk to them anymore. So McKelty was the one who texted the family and the kids and said, Robin isn't going to participate and the kids aren't going to participate in the gift exchange this year. Why is McKelty getting involved? That's
okay. So McKelty and Robin have this special relationship.
Right. Fuck that.
I think that Robin was trying to use McKelty as the go-between because Robin speaks with McKelty, but Robin is, voted, quote unquote, voted off the island, is not going to speak to the other kids because in her eyes, her view is they don't want anything to do with her. So why is she going to reach out to them? Because in her and Cody's fucked up world when it comes to kids and adults, you play this fucking third grade cafeteria table nonsense, but whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit with you. And if you're not going to sit with them, I'm going to go sit by myself and take my ball and go home. And it sounds like that's what Robin was doing. So Robin wasn't going to lower herself to speak to the other kids, but she does still speak to McKelty, and McKelty speaks to the other kids. So let's use McKelty as a go-between, which is completely inappropriate. You're a fucking adult, Robin. This pisses me off. And because you're using the child. Yeah. You're using the fucking child as a go-between in a completely inappropriate. That's inappropriate in any situation, much less. Oh God.
So in one sense, she's like, you don't respect me as a mom. And then in another sense, she's like, don't ever talk to me again kind of deal. I don't want to talk to you. Like, which one is it? If you're a mom to children, you can't just tell people don't ever talk to me again or don't. No, like you can't do that. No wonder.
Be the fucking adult.
Exactly.
Like these are your children.
Yeah.
Everyone considers themselves siblings, right? They consider all of you guys moms, even if everything's rocky now and Christine is left and Janelle is leaving and one foot out the door and all this other stuff. Like all the kids consider themselves still a family and these all their moms. You guys are the fucking adults. And this is like where we become the broken record about Cody and Robin acting the way that they act. Right. Because my kids have to call me and like, no, you're the adult. Okay. It's like I got a text back from both of my teenage children the other day. One text back. It was a banner day. Because they don't respond to texts. They're busy. They're doing a million things. They see it. They don't expect to respond back. I don't expect them to respond back. I don't cut them off and wait for them to text me. Well, you didn't text me, so I'm just not going to be on your side until you reach out to me because it's your turn to reach out to me. No, they're busy. Exactly. I reach out to them because I love them and I want them to know I'm thinking of them. I happened to get a text back from both of them in a single day, each of them independently in a single day. And I was like, oh, banner, this is great. But they're kids. You're the adults. I don't care if they're adult children. They're still the children and you're the adult. And
Yeah. Well, Christine said that a line was drawn that day and Garrison said Robin played the victim and turned it into blaming them. And he said, no, we just want to figure it out. So obviously, Garrison, all the kids know what Robin's like.
The kids are a lot more mature and put together and smart about this than Robin ever will be.
Well, what's funny is remember when we were covering earlier Sister Wives, I told you and I had a discussion about Robin. And I said I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt in that Cody was the one controlling her and that she was a victim to Cody, but as it is playing out, and you said, no, she knows what she's doing. And I was kind of like, didn't want to go there. I didn't really agree with you on that. But now, after the last 2 seasons, I'm like, okay, no, she is manipulative and she knows exactly what she's doing.
100%.
So I was wrong. Yeah.
100%. She's the architect of all of this.
Yep. And Cody said that Robin didn't make the COVID Christmas rules. It was him that made the rules.
Okay, whatever.
Gabe said that she was gaslighting everyone. Garrison said she was the catalyst of all of this, and she used COVID to make dad exclusive with her and make it all of the kids' faults. I was like, oh shit. So now the kids are saying it.
That's it. Yep. He explained it so well and so succinctly. That's what it is. They used COVID and the rules and all of that to make this exclusivity issue, and the kids are alive. And the kids, I think correctly, called her out on it. And she in true Robin fashion is just, the manipulative asshole that she is, and made it about her.
Turning it around. Yep.
On Earth 2 over there.
Yep. I wrote down Cody says all of them are jerks. So I don't know if he was talking about the wives or the kids or
he was talking about the kids.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He was talking about the kids. He was talking about how the kids were being jerks by voting Robin and her girls off the island or something like that. But he was referring to his own children.
That's awful.
I get it. We understand our own kids can be assholes and jerks.
Kaya was demonic this morning, but that's another story I didn't tell you about. But yes, demonic.
Demonic.
No, like the daycare lady had to come out of the building and help me get her into daycare this morning.
Oh my God.
So did I want to call her a little shit? Absolutely, in my head, right?
Yeah.
Did I verbalize that to her? No. I gave her a hug. I said, I love you. I don't know why you're upset, but I love you. Yada, yada, yada. But in my head, I was like, God damn.
And then you went and you drank your Dunkin' Donuts and started sticking needles into people. And you felt better, right?
I did. Yeah.
And guess what? You're going to go pick her up at the end of the day because you're an adult and you're her parent and you're picking her up. And you love her.
I'm not going to make it about me. It's not going to be, woe is me and my problems. No.
Yeah.
You just got to keep it chugging, keep moving along, chugging along.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, we fully admit our children can be assholes and jerks, but he doesn't mean it in that way. He doesn't.
No, he literally means it.
Yeah. He's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah. And so Garrison, the kids are so good with their words. Garrison said Robin's mad because she can't affect them anymore. He goes, we don't care anymore. We're all grown adults that don't need a father figure. And Gwendolyn said, well, it still hurts. So in her mind, she's still upset by it. But, Garrison's like, nobody can affect me anymore. Whatever. So.
Yeah. And it's so sad for both of them, right? The way they expressed it. They're both equally, I think, affected and grieving and stuff. And of course, they're going to, their outward expressions of it are going to be different. But, it's clear that it's still incredibly hurtful.
Yeah.
And, just because like Garrison may be in a good place with it now, which is great. He's obviously done a lot of internal work that he's been able to get to that point where he can sort of compartmentalize them and be like, it's not about me. It's not about me as a person. Robin's like this because Robin's an asshole. My dad's like this because my dad's an asshole. It's not a reflection on who I am. And they're not hanging out with me because I'm somehow defective. Like he's clearly worked through it and realizes it's not him. Yeah. And that's great. But that still hurts, right? It doesn't make it necessarily less painful that it occurred just because you're at a better place with it. And I think Gwendolyn accurately reflects that exact thought, right? Like we're all in a better place because we had to be now because I'm not going to live in that place emotionally, but it still hurts when to know your dad doesn't want anything to do with you and thinks you're a jerk.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think that we talked about earlier today in this episode that Cody is a liar and lies in between the episodes, and he says this is a perfect example of him being a liar. So Christine said that Cody called her a bully, but now Cody is saying, no, I never called Christine a bully. She was just a crappy sister wife. I remember him calling her a bully, right? Am I going crazy?
No, you're not going crazy. And I'm sure
he literally
somewhere there's a clip of him saying that.
Right. Christine bullied the other side. I know he said it. I am not making this up.
No, I'm sure you're not.
Right.
Yeah, and that's exactly it.
How are you going to lie while your whole entire world is on national TV and people can replay it?
That's how Delulu he is.
He is Delulu. He probably believes it.
What?
He probably believes it when he says that I never said that. He actually believes that.
I think he and Robin honestly believe they're bullshit.
Yeah.
I really do. They they really think they buy their, they smell their own brand. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, Gwendolyn said Robin would just manipulate all the kids and then start crying when they were sitting around the table. So like she would just manipulate and cry and then get her way. Shocker. Just like now, we've seen on camera every season for the last 16 seasons. So Gabe said that he sees Aurora around school and that they say hi to each other and hug each other, tell each other they love each other and yada, yada, yada. I guess they go to college at the same school. And Aurora says Gabe has been nothing but kind to her. So I'm glad that at least two of the kids can get along or at least not be angry. Gabe seems like he's in a better place. Although I think was it sweet. Was it him that Janelle was talking about how he's very he feels sensitive. It very deeply? Yes. Yeah, he's sensitive and he feels it really, really deeply. So when they said that the two of them they see each other and they give hugs or whatever and stuff, it's like I can see that, they're both hardy and struggling. It's not their fault that their parents are assholes, Right. Cody says divorces are like civil wars, and she, meaning Christine, has karma coming. And I'm like, buddy, the only one that has karma coming is you, because Christine has she's got good karma. I know, right? Somebody made a video, and I think I posted it, but somebody made a video. It was like a clip of him saying all this karma, and it was all these clips of Christine hysterically laughing in pictures with her now husband. I love it's that. Oh yeah, she got her karma. I love that so much. Oh my God. Well, then it gets sad again when Christine says she told Gwendolyn for years that her dad loves her, but she's like, it's not my job to tell my daughter that her dad loves her. That's his job. Yeah. How could he not tell his own daughter that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then we see McKelty bringing Avalon into town. So Cody is going to have a little birthday at their house. And did you notice that there's no camera crews in Robin and Cody's house? I guess because of COVID. So they still are setting up their own. Is that why Mary doesn't ever go in the house? I don't know. I think she did go in the house. She did. I think. Here, but all the other conversations we have where Mary has to sit outside in the cold. Maybe their COVID rules are still so strong that they have to have their own. Because they filmed that stuff with Avalon. They filmed that on their own. Right. Cameras and stuff. Exactly. Yep. I noticed that. I was like, oh, wow. So they're still not allowing camera crews. But again, Cody can go to a wedding and officiate, and he can go on a boys' trip and yada, yada, yada. But whatever. Yeah. So Cody says that Tony gets along great with Robin and they have a good relationship. Listen, I don't know much about Tony, but he seems a little, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a little touched in the head. There's something off about him a little bit. That's we've talked about this before. He's a little touched. Yeah. There's a little something off. He's a little touched in the head somehow. I don't know what it is, but right. So in his own kind of planetary orbit over there. Yeah. So I just kind of whatever. Okay. Christine talks about him as being an incredible father. So I trust Christine's assessment on that. So I just go, okay, well, I just remember him being super lazy when they were first dating and they were worried about him, but maybe he's changed and grown up. So yeah. Maybe being a parent, maybe being a father, that's his calling. Yeah, maybe definitely. That's what he found, Yep. And she talks about him as a father, she's glowing when she talks about him as a father. So yeah, maybe that was, but she has nothing to compare him to because her own father is a piece of shit. So anybody's going to be glowing in a spectacular father compared to her dad. Compared to Cody. Oh my God. As a father. He changed a diaper. He put the kid down to bed. He put his own kid to bed. He doesn't babysit his own child. You mean? Right. Yes. He takes care of his own child. He doesn't babysit them. I'm just saying, and maybe I'm not trying to talk shit on Tony because he could be no. But I am saying that she has nothing to compare it to. That's all. Right. So it's perspective,
Anything's better than Cody.
Exactly. Cody's like John Cena. You just don't see him. He's just not there. It's a wrestling reference to the 95% of the women that are listening to this. You have no idea what I just said.
A lot of people know who John Cena is, though, even if they're not wrestling.
Do they know that the whole you can't see me?
So I think like that's one of the things that people know that he exists and there's a thing, even like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an X blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Words. Sorry, guys. It's been a day. A couple weeks, but just today, words are already hard.
Words are hard.
I'm losing words rapidly. They're flying out of my brain at a record pace. So,
and Katrina, we're also out of practice. It's been like 2 weeks since we've done a podcast.
It has been.
We're not going to go that long again, guys. We won't do it. Yeah. We love doing this.
This was unexpected. We were scheduled to record multiple times, and then things got waylaid because of this, that, and the other thing.
Well, and then a new scene, we see Christine introducing Janelle to her friends and Flagstaff, and Janelle is excited because she said she needs friends, and it's Christine's ex anniversary, which I think is funny.
Christine says she celebrates two, like her wedding day and her divorce day.
Yes.
As her celebration, her ex-anniversary celebrations, and I think that's hilarious. I suspect now that she's remarried, she's not going to be celebrating her anniversaries, but I think it's great for the time being. So anybody, if you need support at a ex-anniversary party, I'm your girl.
My parents are divorced, but their ex-anniversary was Valentine's Day. They got married on Valentine's Day, so that's kind of funny. So
I wonder if that's good or bad.
It's terrible. They said it was awful.
To have Valentine's Day as the constant reminder of.
Well, not only that, just like when they were married, like trying to celebrate their anniversary was awful. It's a holiday. Oh, yeah. It's just a lot of shit around the holiday. So they would advise not even the divorce aspect of it. Just it's a shit.
Avoid it. Keep it a separate. Yeah. Have a separate celebration. If your Valentine's Day is your thing, just one of your things that you celebrate, keep it separate. Give yourself a separate day. You deserve all the presents. Don't make it easy for the lazy men to combine the dates so they don't have to remember the dates. Don't make it easy for them. You deserve presents on all the separate days. So keep them as separate as possible.
I like that advice.
Bring in all the prezzies. That's my.
Well, I noticed too. I noticed when they were all sitting around at the dinner, Christine was drinking a Moscow Mule and not hot tea, and Janelle was drinking wine. And I was I have never seen them drink alcohol with the family all together.
Right.
And I have seen pictures of Cody and Robin out at dinner that fans were taking or whatever, and they were drinking wine or champagne, it looked like. So I'm like, okay, these are more whatever you want to call them, liberal, like the offshoot of more. But I'm like, okay, well, they're drinking alcohol because at the beginning of the whole series, they talked about how they don't drink alcohol. Right. I remember that. And
that was also when they didn't wear earrings too, because those are of the devil. So let's just say pierced ears of the devil, wine was of the devil. Now, I personally think wine is of the devil and of the gods, in moderation. As an alcoholic, that would be expected from me.
Exactly.
I both love it and cannot consume it at all. So.
Janelle does not care that Christine is telling her story because, of course, Janelle is telling all the ladies about what's going on. Mm-hmm. She says she's not spilling her guts to them, telling them everything. Throwing a drink is easy, but you know what's even easier? Getting a drink delivered with Drizzly, your go-to app for alcohol delivery. With Drizzly, you can shop local stores and compare prices on your favorite drinks or their least favorite drinks. Drama. Then get them delivered to your door. No drama, no table flipping, no accusation-filled reunions. Just a tailored shopping experience for whatever occasion you're shopping for. From birthdays to weddings to have a piece of bread. Maybe you'll calm down a little parties. So save time shopping and get back to sipping the fanciest champagne while watching accusation-filled reunions. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today. Must be 21 or over and not available in all locations. I think she just met them.
Right.
But they did give Christine that cool mug that says "Smash the Patriarchy."
Right, which is hilarious. Now, this whole scene was kind of interesting to me because I think there were some production shenanigans that they didn't cover up very well.
Did you see the glasses, the drinks that switched? I did.
Oh, no, I didn't see the drinks that switched, but it was like some of the questions that the girls were asking made it seem like either like if you were friends with her, you would have known this. Like asking Christine, not Janelle, but if you're asking Christine some of these questions, such that you're going to give her a Smash the Patriarchy mug, you would have already known some of these things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the setups were I think a little in your face more so than they usually are with TLC. So do better. But just kidding. You're fine. But yeah, like Janelle, they were asking Janelle like all these like, oh wait, are you leaving him too? And this and that. And Janelle, I do appreciate that she like, I mean, she gave them like a
politician response.
Yeah, like we're together, but we're not, we're figuring things out. That's kind of rough right now, because she's like, she admitted though that that's not actually what's happening. Like she's like, I'm not going to tell these women the truth. I don't know them,
Yeah.
So when when she was saying, like we're still together, we're just figuring things out. Like I didn't take that as her saying she wasn't leaving Cody.
Right. I agree.
Just putting on that story for these people that she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because, as we get into, Christine is like, are you leaving him? Are you leaving him? Come move into this duplex next door.
Christine's ready to party and have some girl time, have some fun, do all the things they never did because they got married when they were like 20. Christine said that she said Cody wasn't talking about the patriarchy until recently, which I thought was interesting. So either he was, and when they were younger and raising kids, maybe he was and they were too busy and tired to notice, or he was feeling that way but didn't verbalize it until recently. Because obviously I don't think your views are going to change that much. If you have the way Cody's talking, it has to have been his mindset this whole time, right? Like
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too.
Maybe an unconscious on like a subconscious, unconscious level, because I don't, and because with polygamy, I think, I mean, it's patriarchal by its definition, right? Like you can't be I don't think without being in polygamy without believing in the patriarchy, in patriarchal
and some polygamists would argue with that because I've heard them say, no, the women have I'm like, no.
But no, it's a patriarchal structure. Yeah. Man, has to have all these wives because you have to have all these children. And that's what wives are good for, is for having children to carry on your seed. Like, and then not to mention all the other abusive stuff, which, oh my God, we're going to get into with our religious expert, Becca, Dr. Becca, not Becky. God, Becca. Sorry, Becky. No. Because there's so much of those spiritual abuse underpinnings to the AUB and like, what is it? The ILBP, IBLP. That's the Duggars one. I'm towards the end of the Jill Duggar book right now, so I'm like in that. But yeah, with their religion though, Cody's religion, and with polygamy in general, I think, I mean, you have to subscribe to a patriarchal structure just to have that work.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. And now back to the show.
So Cody is such a douche that he was sitting there and literally said this quote, Christine forced herself into my life.
I know.
What? It hurt initially, but I'm fine. For months, you've been whining and going around. She left me. Blah, 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 blah. Like,
now he's at well, I didn't want her anyway.
Exactly.
You know what he reminded me of in this moment? Like when a guy like on a dating platform, let's just say Tinder or something, like they'll start texting you or, just anywhere, and they'll text you and be like, hey, beautiful, or whatever. And then like you don't respond. And it's like, fine, bitch, you're ugly anyway.
Yes.
Like, you're the what?
Yes.
That's what it was like.
It's insane. People are insane. They're insane.
They are.
So let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read my notes. So Chris, Okay, anyways, Christine said she wanted to show the world that polygamy wasn't about control and suppression, but now she's having a divorce. She's showing a divorce and a broken family. And that's kind of how the episode ended, you know?
Right. Which I think she starts, and in this next episode, I think, is she mentioned something about, like, you know, how she wouldn't ever do polygamy again. Because she's talking about how Janelle says she would consider it if it's the right circumstances. It's not that she doesn't, you know, not believe in polygamy, but it would have to be the right situation. And Christine's like, no, because it turns out polygamy actually is all these things, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
That you just said, that she says at the end of that episode, which was like, ding, 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 ding. And Janelle will get there, I think.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. Well, we move on to season 18, episode 10, All Your Eggs in One Basket. Janelle and Christine are doing an Easter celebration together. And Cody says that him and Robin don't celebrate Easter. And Christine says they hadn't celebrated Easter since the kids were really young. And it's because it was a pain for Cody. That's what Christine says. Cody says that they should be celebrating Passover and not Easter. And Janelle said that the family was always evolving with their religious traditions. So it sounds to me like Cody was just annoyed by having to put candy and eggs and money and eggs
and have to actually
interact with all the kids at once.
And then my favorite line was Christine, like, we honestly, the real truth is we celebrate Easter because Cody said no. So now we do the opposite. And now, you know, I'm not a religious person, so I don't know all of the, like, the religious dogma and stuff behind Passover and the Last Supper and the resurrection of Christ and the empty tomb and all those things. Like, I don't really know about it. I don't subscribe to any of it. So it's not something I read about or learn about.
Dr. Becca. We need Dr. Becca.
I know. Oh, yeah. Where's Dr. Becca? Paging Dr. Becca. Paging Dr. Becca.
We need a religious
for this when next we have her
consult
on. Because there was a whole discussion on my Instagram about this, and people were like, why didn't they celebrate Easter? Aren't they Christian and this and that? And there was this whole back and forth, and it was like the Passover and the Last Supper, and it would be this, and then somebody else was like, no, the Last Supper was this and this, and there was this whole, like, a theological thing, and I'm like, I don't know who's right or wrong, I don't know, but I think they didn't celebrate it because Cody and Robin are fucking stupid.
That's what I think, because I don't know. I mean, I grew up Russian Orthodox, very traditional, Christian Orthodox. And I know one thing, and that is that Easter in our religion is the most important holiday of any of the Christian religion.
Because that's holidays. The resurrection, right? That's right. Christ rising again, right?
Right. So that I can speak on behalf of my religion, at least on that aspect. But I don't know.
Which is weird why that wouldn't be the celebratory day for these people who are supposedly some form of Christian, not Jewish, right, you know, who don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Like, that much, at least I know.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like Christians and Easter are, like, go hand in hand.
Right. They do. Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, but again, it's all about Cody picking and choosing. It's really Cody's religion. It's not Christian.
It's not Mormonism.
Remember he had his own services. Mormonism. He had his own church services in their house because he didn't agree with the preacher or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the head person is. So they literally have their own services. Cody is a narcissistic, power hungry individual who wants to do anything that he wants to do. And if it's not, but
he's too much of a beta cuck to be able to actually run, like, a successful cult.
I was going to say, like, I'm surprised he didn't try.
He did. By marrying these 4 women.
No, but I mean, like, expand even further into controlling other people.
The thing is, I think he would have if he'd been of the constitutional makeup to be able to do so, but he's too much of a beta male to be able, and with not enough charisma, the way that cult leaders have to have a certain amount of alpha maleism and charisma mixed together so that people listen to them and follow him. And I think that Cody's way too beta for that.
I agree.
So I think, not for him lack of trying or desire, I just don't feel like any of his shit successfully took off.
Yeah. He said he felt more in line with God if he was just celebrating Passover. And then interestingly enough, Mary goes on to say that she didn't celebrate Easter or Passover growing up, but she grew up in a Mormon Christian,
but
whatever.
She couldn't also
Mormon.
But they're also the household that said earrings are the devil's work, like pierced ears are of the devil. So, I mean, I really can't take them too seriously when they pick and choose the various aspects. I don't understand why Christians would be celebrating the Passover and not the.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about Passover. Maybe I'm just ignorant.
I think it was like the Last Supper or something, or I don't know.
I need to look into it.
It was the 3 days before. It was the Friday before, isn't it?
I'm terrible. I'm a terrible religious Christian. I'm not even religious
That's
anymore.
When we need Dr. Becca. But the point is that Cody makes his own shit up, and they didn't celebrate Easter because it was too much of a pain in the ass for him. So Christine is doing it now, and I love when Christine has arts and crafts at her house because it's just like my heart sings when I see it. And she's at the table and she's so happy making all these arts and crafts for her mostly adult children and then her new grandchildren. And it's fucking amazing. And I love it. And I would love for that to be my house.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to be that parent. I want to be Christine. Fun.
You can take Kaya and do crafts.
Having the kids and the grandkids and everybody. Like, I love it when I get all the kids for Thanksgiving. So I get everybody over here for Thanksgiving, all my kids and, my son and his girlfriend, and then her family comes over. And so I get and they have a little baby, like I can gather everybody, and it just makes me happy.
Aww.
My heart full to have that around. So watching Christine prepare these eggs and have this Easter celebration, I'm like, oh, because when your kids are older and they go away, like it's like getting them back and under one roof is like more meaningful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So seeing that just makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Janelle said that when Robin came into the family, she told them that she was just going to go to her mom's house to celebrate Easter because I guess it was important to her. But Cody didn't want her to leave, so they did a hybrid celebration. And Christine said that there were a lot of changes and things that did get better when Robin came into the family in some aspects. So I guess maybe some of the traditions or things like because Cody was all up her ass and loved her and nobody else, that he actually listened to her.
Yeah, because when Robin came in, she had pierced ears, and so that suddenly pierced ears became okay.
Mm-hmm.
They had that conversation already.
Christine said that the last time she talked to Janelle, she wasn't ready to end it with Cody, so she doesn't know where Janelle stands. Kind of switching topics, moving on. Cody, I have a life with Robin and her children, and right now I'm okay with that, even though I hope we can fix things and move things to a different place. Okay.
But you said your kids are jerks, and Christine forced her way into your family. Janelle's always been independent, doesn't want anything to do with him anyway, and you don't want anything to do with Mary. So tell me again what it is you're hoping to change here.
Yeah. Well, then he goes on to say that Christine and Janelle's plan was to separate him from his children so they can have them all to themselves. I'm like, this guy is Delulu.
Absolutely Delulu.
Absolutely insane. I feel bad even typing this. I feel like negative energy even around me typing this stuff. I'm just like,
I know, right?
Icky. Mary and her girlfriend Jen are at the B&B cleaning out space. And Mary
her clothing
says,
business, aka her multi-level marketing pyramid scheme cult.
I still can't get over that one video you sent me of her blocking people live on her Instagram story and just being such a rude person. I was like, I would never buy stuff from her. She seems like not a nice woman. I'm sorry, she doesn't.
No, she's not. She does not seem like a nice person.
Maybe
that was why her being happy and jumping around and stuff was being so uncomfortable for you, because you're just so used to her being a miserable cunt.
Maybe
the energy of her being happy was just jarring to your,
Yeah, that could be it. Because Mary goes on to say in the past she had a good relationship with Christine and Robin, but that her relationship with Robin is very serious. And she didn't really get to let loose and have fun with a lot of the family members like she does with her friend Jen. I find it interesting because the other sister wives, like Christine and Janelle in particular, said that she was never close to Mary and that they were just like good at teamworking, like doing teamwork for the family kind of a thing, but they were never close. So the two different perspectives are that one thinks that they were close and one doesn't. So
define close.
Right.
I would suspect that Janelle and Christine view a close relationship with a sister wife as something different than what Mary might, because their experiences, their expectations are different,
Yeah.
And Janelle and Christine have that connection, which they didn't always like each other very well, but they did eventually become the besties that they are now.
Definitely.
As they grew together and trauma bonded over
trauma bonded. Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Cody says that him and Mary have an amiable relationship and it's distant and there's no fire. But he says it's so monotone and so blah, 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 blah.
I don't care.
Right.
The Fraudcast will be right back. And now back to the Fraudcast.
And Robin goes on to piss me off again when she says, if Mary just sticks around long enough and we get through with what's going on with Christine and Janelle, then they have a chance to work out their relationship. Like, what?
She was like, well, if Mary sticks around and if Cody and Christine, if Cody gets over his anger with Christine and Cody and Janelle are able to work things out and they're all able to be on the property together, then maybe at that point, maybe Mary might be able to work out. And it was like
worst advice ever. She gives the worst advice ever.
Because she's a selfish, manipulative little bitch.
Right. Like, does she want Mary to be miserable? At this point, I'm honestly wondering if she just wants
I don't think
Mary
she cares. Because it's not about Mary, it's about her.
Yeah.
It's about what Mary can do in her life.
That's true. That's true.
And she has this idea in her head of sitting on the porch with her old lady sister wives and this long family. There's like she's always been talking about, I wanted this family. And she's not getting it. She's trying to like force it with what she has available, and she doesn't care what anybody else feels, or if she was a genuinely good friend to Mary, she would have encouraged Mary to go out long ago, because Cody would not.
Yeah.
You would know that Cody's not ever gonna it's not gonna ever happen.
No, not at all.
But she's not ever done that. Even Christine knows that Janelle's gonna be better off once she leaves Cody. But she knows that Janelle wasn't ready to leave Cody or to say any of that. So she just left it with Janelle. She understands that. She doesn't try to push her and say, oh, you need to leave and come move in next door to me because it's about me. Because she genuinely loves Janelle and she wants her to be happy. So she's there to support Janelle and what Janelle needs. And what Janelle needs is a friend to listen to her, not to tell her she's right or wrong or whatever. Anyway.
Well, Mary's talking about Jen's husband washing her car and all the things he does for her. Then she says to production, don't go weird. You went weird though. You were like,
Mary posted something clarifying that she was straight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She didn't specify that it was because people were saying she and Jen were together or should be together or whatever. Like we're all joking. But that's clearly what it was in relation to, because of when it came out and which episodes it was a reference to. And she came out with this, it's so funny. I'm so straight.
Interesting. I don't believe it. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like she's bi. That's my gut.
I feel like she's straight in the way that I'm straight.
What does that mean?
Meaning like I'm married to a man. I'm a female married to a man, but in the right circumstances, I wouldn't say no to a woman.
Gotcha.
Depending on who the woman was. Like, I'm not necessarily anti dating a woman. I'm not dating anybody, and I don't look to date anybody. But like, if I were in prison or some other situations arose where that was an opportunity, it would easily happen. And I find the women's bodies incredibly sexy, and I think that Mary is probably one of those women who has those desires, but she can't ever articulate them even to herself because of her upbringing. Earrings are bad. When pierced ears are the devil.
Easter's bad too.
When Easter's bad and pierced ears, holes in your ears are of the devil. Certainly finding a woman attractive is not something that she would be comfortable. But here's the other piece. She just said that Jen just loves her for who she is. She doesn't have to put on any airs about who she is. perhaps just the fact that she has a good friend who treats her this way is in and of itself like makes her happy. And it's not about the fact that it's a woman and she may be secretly sexually attracted to her. It's just that she's not used to people treating her like
with respect.
Equal.
Well, she did say that. She talked about later on when she sees Cody's kids with Robin, she said that they show her like love and respect, and she's not used to that. So
yeah,
finding a friend like that, yeah, I get it. She's not. Think about it,
doesn't necessarily have to mean that she's sexually attracted to her secretly, but it could be. It could be. I mean, it's fun, Mary. Yeah. Come on, just like indulge in that fantasy. You don't have to act on it, but because they're not polygamous, but or whatever, you know, whatever, or you do you, boo. I don't care. Everybody get in bed together. I don't care. But it doesn't hurt me. But like, allow yourself to indulge in it. Like, you know, it's fine. You know.
Well, Cody says that Mary does not have a fulfilling life in Flagstaff, and he's fine with her moving the business. And Mary was saying she was hoping
fulfilling life in Flagstaff.
Mary said she was hoping he would care more about healing their marriage. Oh my God, I can't. I'm writing the same thing every episode. Yeah. Every episode they're saying the same thing. So Cody says Janelle and him don't want to reconcile, and they talk on the phone once in a while. And he says, I do believe we can reconcile, and that it would require Christine and Janelle to stop hanging out as much, basically, is what he said.
Which I thought was, you know, I was waiting to see what he was going to say to this, right? Because he says, you know, we could reconcile if blah, blah, because you hear Janelle saying the same thing, right? Like, I would because, you know, the producers, would you reconcile with him? Well, if he reverted back to who he was, you know, and wasn't this asshole, then yeah, I would. And I feel like I was waiting. I'm like, okay, what is he going to say? How bad is it going to be? And I was really surprised by how bad it actually was.
I know.
By
relationships. Oh, excuse me. Relationships with Cody are very conditional. He will only have a relationship with you under his terms and conditions. So, you know, him saying, well, if Janelle was to reconcile with me, then it would require
her not hanging out with Christine as much.
Right. So it's conditional. Everything is conditional.
And what you mean by that is not listen to Christine, but go back to listening to me and put me as the head of your household again.
Mm-hmm. Loyalty.
That's respect. What she means. That's what he means by it.
Patriarchy. Mm-hmm. Jody and Christine and the kids are sitting around the table talking about Thanksgiving and how they're going to be separate again. And it's July. We found out it was July when they were already talking about Thanksgiving.
Right. Janelle, and that's what I was like, wait, suddenly it's July?
Right. Janelle,
they're talking about Thanksgiving that's happening in next month? Like, I was just talking to the judge about Thanksgiving because we were having to do some scheduling issues around it. But
well, that's in like a few weeks.
Exactly.
Right. Well, Janelle says she doesn't ever anticipate spending a holiday with Cody again. So here's another fun quote, a Cody quote. Accountability is something Janelle and Christine don't know anything about. Okay.
In opposite land.
Yeah. In Earth 1, like you said, that's an Earth 2 quote, but here on Earth 1, that's actually the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. Cody told the boys that they can come to his house for the holidays because his house has loyalty.
It's his house. It's, you know, him and Robin, and it's not about him wanting to see his kids or spend time with his kids or any of his family about Christmas or holidays or let's spend time as a family. He doesn't, you know, we'll figure it out. I want to see you. No, it was, you want to see me, you're going to come to my house and prove your loyalty to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, parent-child. Fucking child, you guys. Jesus. This makes me so angry. Every time we talk about this, I literally get off the phone, I like text my kids and I'm like, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Like, sorry about other, you know, like.
Right. And then we see Mary and Robin hanging out with the kids. And Robin, like I said earlier, is happy that people love her unconditionally and that she doesn't want to walk away from that experience. I'm like, so seeing kids that aren't yours, well, whatever, I guess they're technically hers as well. But you see them very, very randomly and infrequently, and like that minimal experience is rewarding to you, and like
it was very uncomfortable too, because it was very like Robin was forcing, hey, tell her about this, tell him. It reminded me of like when I had to talk to like my grandma when I was like 7 years old. And it's like, thank her for this. Because, back then we didn't have texts and stuff. They called, right? Yeah. You talk on the phone, tell your grandma, talk to how's school, how's this? Like, I feel like it's my mom standing there telling me, tell your grandma this, tell your grandma this. That was Robin with the kids and Mary, like having to facilitate this conversation. And what I found a note too is that Robin was like, Mary's coming over because she really loves my kids. Not my kids really love her, but she really loves my kids.
I caught that as well. You're
Language
right.
matters.
Yeah. Yep. And then Christine goes on to talk about how she does not remember a time that Cody ever left Robin's house to come help her with the kids. And Janelle said the same thing. So Christine said, Robin can't help her own kids get ready, so he can spend more time at whatever other wives' house he's at. It doesn't make any sense. And he goes on to say he was taking Ariana and Solomon to school because he liked it. It's like a second chance. Robin never asked me to do it.
Nobody said she did.
Robin says, she goes on to say, I told him it was going to create problems, as though deflecting it like, it's going to create problems with the other sister wives that you're taking our kids to school.
You're leaving Christine's house in the morning to come over to take our kids to school.
These women are more single moms than single moms in a lot of ways, because they thought they had help, right? Like they thought they had expectations that they were going to get help, and they didn't. Like me as a single mom knows I'm not going to get any help. So I already plan ahead and just know
you don't
that I'm not going to get help.
That emotional or physical support. Like you're not expecting that, and they were expecting it. And
so I think it's worse.
It's this asshole Cody who's staying overnight because it's your night with him, but then he leaves in the morning to go take their kids, Robin's kids.
Not to mention he comes home at like 7:30 at night to their house and leaves before they get ready for school. So he's not even spending hardly any time with anyone except for Robin's family.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, because I want to and I enjoy it. Well, yeah. That's good. That's great that you enjoy taking your kids to school. Acknowledge that you didn't do this with the rest of your kids.
Yeah.
That's great for Saul and Ari. Like, that's great. They get to have you. That's great.
Right.
But acknowledge the fact that your other fucking kids didn't get any of that.
And so Cody goes on to say, a bad sister wife takes her kids away from her husband. Robin's just loyal and Christine wasn't. I'm like, you took yourself away from the kids and you don't do anything.
That's the way he and Robin frame things. It's not that he removed himself from the kids. It's the Christine took them away from her or away from him. It's always those turns of phrases of how they describe things and refer to things just shows you everything about their mindset, about how they view their world on Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Yeah.
Christine and Janelle, you don't get those same kinds of language. And with Mary, even you see a mix of it, but mostly not as much as you get with Robin and Cody.
Yeah. And Janelle said that after her birthday dinner at the world famous Mariposa, she hadn't heard from Cody.
Difficult to get in.
Yeah. She hadn't heard from Cody in 2 weeks, and that he dropped her off at her apartment. She didn't invite him in. I guess he didn't want to come in. So yeah, it felt like, it was just like
he wanted to drop her off and get back home to his loyal wife.
Right.
Who would give him a blowjob, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Or I was going to say something. Never mind. I got to be careful what I say now. Okay. Janelle says that she's not settling for less than what she deserves, which is great. She's reflecting and realizing that that's not enough. And then the wives start talking about doing a family reunion, and most of everyone says that they would do it for the kids. Christine said she would do it for the kids. Janelle, Robin said no, it was just asking for trouble and fights. Cody says he never wants to do a family reunion with Christine. He's still butthurt about Christine.
I didn't even like you anyway, bitch.
Right. And then Janelle says she doesn't care if she ever interacts with Robin and Mary moving forward. Like, she's just whatever. Yeah. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, you don't care? You do care, Cody. Which one is it?
Oh, which one is it?
All right. Then we move on to Aurora, who is talking about dating a boy, but they're not really dating. They're just talking. Cody says Yeah. Cody says he seems like a nice guy and he has to put on his intimidation face. And I'm thinking, if this kid has watched any of the episodes of the show, I don't think he would be intimidated by Cody whatsoever.
Yeah, but he's also interested in Aurora. So he's clearly of a different mindset. Because not that Aurora, I mean, I don't she's her mother's daughter. Is my point.
Maybe
she's Robin's daughter, and she's a mini Robin. So
I hope she's not. I hope to God she
is already. You see her in the interviews. Her kids are mini versions of her with the crying and the manipulation. And I feel left out because they don't like me anymore because we told them something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you see it with the kids too.
Yeah. Well, then everyone's talking about how young they all were when they were married and having babies. Because Mary made the point of like, wow, I was Aurora's age when I was married to Cody. And that's young looking at her. Like in retrospect, looking back, it's like, wow, 1920? That's so young. Janelle said her and Mary were never close, which I mentioned earlier. And Janelle said that their breakup was very amiable. But Christine said, how could it be amiable if of what happened between them with the fight happened the way it was? Like she said she saw it but she didn't see it, so I don't know.
I think the video of it from the filming.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the episode like we saw, because you know how like they do a lot of these interviews after the fact, right? You know, for because having been on similar, right? So they do the interviews after. So I think at that point they show like maybe here, this, whatever. So she saw the fight, so she was able to comment on it in these interviews. So I think that's what she was talking about. Was that what my understanding was.
That makes sense. It's like it hasn't aired by the time they're doing this, but yeah, that makes sense. That production would show her. Yeah. And again, Janelle makes all these like good points of feeling like she's better without Cody. She said she's more at peace when Cody isn't around, and that she says she needs something different and more of a companion. And she said that they were living like a friends with benefits type relationship, which makes a lot of sense. She didn't have a companion. She didn't have a partner. She had somebody to come over and have sex and do the bare minimum.
Body. She had a warm body.
Yeah. So I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah. And she's realizing, wait a minute, I actually do want more than this. But you know, she's still young, so she's got the rest of her life ahead of her. Yeah.
Christine said she would never live polygamy again, but Janelle says she would, and that because she likes her independence. But in my mind, I'm thinking you could be in a healthy relationship with a partner and still be independent.
Absolutely. Still have your space. Doesn't know that though. She doesn't know that, you know what I mean? Like I'm extraordinarily independent, right? You know this.
Right.
Happily married, you know, but we're also very independent people, but because that's what I need. And we have a loving partner, balanced relationship, you know?
Definitely. And
I did get mad at him last night. I did yell at him last night.
Oh, is that why he came in and wanted to say
hi? No. I apologized to him since. Like I apologized to him last night because after I ate and I calmed down, I was like, I'm sorry for what I said when I was hungry.
Oh, you were hangry.
And then this morning too, because I went to my my 12-step meeting and I hadn't been to one in a long time, and like a week, and that's a long time for me. And those keep me sort of balanced and regulatory. So I was like, oh yeah. So I was like, yeah, sorry for those things I said when I wasn't really, you know, mentally balanced out. Sorry.
No. Well, Janelle admits that Cody is a monogamous now, and that if she cared, it would bother her, but she doesn't care. Like she's done. And she's literally saying, I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah. And Christine goes on to say he's not going to stop being Robin's husband to be Janelle's, because Janelle was like, well, if he changes and he and Christine's like, he ain't going to change. He's
right. Well, I don't think Janelle thought he was going to change, but I think being asked under what circumstances would you consider reconciling, and that would be her answer, is if he were to change. You know, I don't think she actually expects that. I think it's just an answer to production's question.
Yeah. And Christine goes on to say, I'm disgusted, disappointed, and appalled by Cody's behavior. Yeah, no shit. And then we get to talking about how you can remarry in their religion. And Janelle says she can't remarry until she's released from her covenants, but that she's no longer a part of the religious community. So there's no one for her to go to. Christine said the same thing last season. There's no one to go to release you. And you're not fully released until you have sex with the next guy.
That's what Robin said.
Right. And so Christine's like laughing her ass off. She's like, that's not true.
Robin's the one that said you're not actually divorced until you sleep with somebody else.
And Christine's like, what?
She's like, I decided I was released on this day when I decided I was done and divorced. Like, that was it. I decided. I just decided.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
And she's just laughing hysterically. It's so funny. And if you want to see it, I put it on at my Instagram. I put a clip of it on my Instagram. So,
and then next time we see McKelty is pregnant again, and she had twins, right? So that's the surprise, I think.
Oh yeah. This upcoming, I'm like, wait, she already had twins, right?
Exactly. Okay. It's been forever.
Yeah. So the upcoming surprise is that they're having twins.
We see douchebag with like his family filming themselves in the kitchen. Looks like a party for someone. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So there we are, guys. So that's it. This episode will be coming out over the weekend, hopefully Saturday. And then we'll be back as soon as possible with the Sunday night episode that airs. We're hopefully going to get back on our Monday night recording, but we're not positive on that. So we're trying though. So I mentioned earlier that I am almost getting towards the end. Well, no, I don't even think I'm there. I think a little over halfway through the Jill Duggar book, which is called Counting the Cost. And we talked about this a little bit when we covered the Shiny Happy People documentary with the Duggars with Dr. Becca on the show. We talked some about this. Now, Becca has read the book and I am almost finished, and it's just so much craziness in there about the background in their IBLP and just the spiritual abuse and things about the Duggars and how they handled the Josh Duggar stuff and how she sort of came to realize, like, they're not protecting me. They don't care about me. They're not, and how she sort of, with the help of her husband and stuff, sort of helped her kind of come to terms with this and how they quit the show and her sort of growth over that, which is really, really fascinating. I recommend it and then I'm moving on to the Britney Spears book, but we are going to hopefully do an episode soon about the Jill Duggar. We want to do Duggars. There's also that called what's White Savior documentary on like Hulu or something. About similar kinds. There's some similar stuff we want to talk about, just some crazy stuff coming up. And then we also have some true crime stuff coming up about an active ongoing true crime case that's happening in the Boston area, metro area, Canton, Massachusetts area. We are going to be covering that. If anybody is familiar with the John O'Keefe, Free Karen Reed movement and Turtle Boy Aiden, all of that story from that Boston area. If you're familiar with any of that, we are going to be covering that. We're going to be we've got some real insiders involved in that are going to come on the show and get the story out, to use the platform to get the story out. And it's very active and currently ongoing. So we're lots of stuff coming up for you. And thank you guys for being so patient with us. We love you. Mwah.